What's up, YouTube? It's Chris and I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be about building credit from scratch. Now, there's not a whole lot to this. Basically, you just want to get a credit card. You want to pay on it properly, buy stuff, pay it off the same day if it's showing up on the account. If not same day, you want to pay it off within the next few days, basically. And you want to keep doing that. But I'm going to get a little bit deeper into how credit really works in this video. So let's get into it. Alright, so I have my notes here. Let me expand this so you're not distracted trying to look at my desktop. Alright, and I have a bunch of little bullet lines here. We're going to try to rip through this. So the first thing you want to do is apply for a credit card that has the potential to have a very high limit. Capital One is usually very generous with this. If you don't really have any credit, they still give you $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 lines of credit. Okay, especially depending on your income and depending on the zip code you live in. Fun fact: poor zip codes get lower credit limits than rich zip codes. So, if possible, before you apply for the credit card, you want to get a P.O. box. Well, not necessarily a P.O. box, the USPS P.O. box. Well, you could try that. Get a P.O. box, or preferably you want to get a UPS box address so that you can put that address on your application. All right. So you want to apply for a credit card that has the potential to have a high limit. The goal is to build this limit up for your next credit card. So if you don't get approved for that, let's say you're 18, 19, you don't get approved for a unsecured card, you want to go ahead and get a secured card. And a secured credit card, all it is they will give you credit based on how much collateral you put up. So you can go to a bank and get this done. Go to a reputable bank like Bank of America, something like that. Go there and say, hey, I want to go ahead and get a secure credit card. Everyone's approved for this because you have to give them the collateral. If you don't pay, they just take the money from the collateral. So you get like a $500 card, something like that. So give them $500 and then you'll get a secure credit card. And you have to build it up from there. All right. The next thing you want to do, I said it will likely come with an embarrassingly low limit. Probably. Now, when you're applying for cards online, I'm not going to go through one, but when you look at the application, look at the fine print. It'll tell you what the minimum amount is in the fine print that they will issue out. They say, well, we feel like your credit sucks or your income sucks or you're poor or we're redlining and we don't really want to give you anything. This is the minimum that this card has. So some cards the minimum is $5,000, some cards the minimum is like $250, $300. So try not to apply for the ones with low limits first. Try to apply for the ones that are larger, like Capital One. Now the Capital One card you want to do is, I don't feel like getting up. I gotta find my wallet. It's a Venture One. That's for really people with really good credit, but a venture card. Try to apply for a venture card. If you can't get a venture card, do a what's the other one I had? A Quicksilver. I think it's a Quicksilver. Quicksilver. I think the limit on that one, I think the lowest limit is like $2,000 or $3,000. I don't know. It's been a few years, so I'm not too sure. But you wanted to try go ahead and get a Capital One card. They have very high interest rates, but it won't matter because you're just doing this to manipulate the system to build up your credit. All right, so you will never have to worry about the interest rate. Don't carry a balance, not right now. So let's say you get the card. Let's say the worst happens and it's only $500. What you want to do is buy something you have the cash for. So let's say you have $20 or you have $50 and you go to Burger King or something like that. Then you go home, pull up your account, see if it's pending yet, see if it's cleared, wait till it clears, and then pay it off immediately. All right, so in some cards, like American Express, for example, will let you go ahead and make a payment now. So if you swipe the thing at 3:05, at 3:10, you can make the payment, and it'll wash itself out. So, but then some cards won't let you do that. And you also want to be mindful of the fact that a lot of cards will not allow you to make more than one payment within 3 to 5 days. Like Discover is like that. They won't let you make multiple payments within a certain amount of days. American Express don't care. You can make payments all day long. So I like American Express for that. So that's what you want to do. You want to do that for 2 months. Don't buy anything major. If it's a $500 limit, you want to go up to $50 at first. All right, so do that for like 2 months, and you only have to do it a couple times a month. Or anytime you have cash, you're going to do it. Anytime you have cash, you're going to pay for something with cash. Use the card, go home, pay it off. Make sure the card is active, okay? You want to show them that you're using this card, all right? Then you want to bump it up. After 2 months, you want to go ahead and bump it up. You want to start not maxing it out, but you want to spend like $250, $300. You don't want to go too high because it'll bring your credit score down a lot. But you want to show the company, hey, I am responsible, but I need a larger line of credit. So you start maxing it out and then you pay it right off. Maxing it out a little bit and you pay it off. So if you have a $500 limit, you start spending up to $300 and then immediately paying that off. Now you might only be able to do that once or twice a month, but that's okay. It's all strategy here. When you get paid, one thing you can do is pay a bill with it. So let's say you get paid and you have your electric bill. Electric bill is $200 or whatever. You have the money to pay that, or $300. Use your credit card to pay that. They're probably going to charge you a little surcharge, but whatever. Small price to pay to get that credit score up. Pay that and pay the bill with your credit card and then pay it off with cash immediately because you were going to pay it with cash anyway. Alright, so the next thing we want to do, I said at this point, you might be able to apply for an increase. Alright, so you do that for 2 months too. And now what you want to do is go and try to apply for an increase. A lot of these cards will allow you to log on and you could just, go through a few menus and click apply for an increase. If you've been doing it the way I told you so far, you follow this plan, they will give you an increase. Alright, so then they'll bump it up some. If you've been doing good with 500 and let's say especially if you've been doing it for 6 months, they'll probably bump it up to a few $1,000s. Alright, so they bump it up, and then at this point what you want to do is just kind of rinse and repeat. Keep doing these things. If possible, you want to, if you get up to like a couple $1,000s, if possible, what you want to start doing is paying your rent or your mortgage with it, and then using the cash to pay that off. Okay, so like I said, you want to show the creditor that, hey, I'm very responsible, but I need a higher limit still. I need higher limits. So you just show them that through your utilization, the way you use the card. All right. What do we have now? Okay, so the goal is to try to max the card out. So some of these cards you'll find they have like $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 limits. You want to keep doing this until that limit on that particular card is kind of maxed out. Now, obviously, once it gets to $15,000, you're probably not going to be able to like swipe something or run up $7,500 and then pay that off. Okay, you want to use it to the extent that you can pay it off each month. All right. Now, here's what happens. Let's say you got a $15,000 limit now with this card. What you do is now apply for a second card. And here's how it works. When you apply for a second card, they always check your credit and see what did that bank give them. Okay, what credit limit did that bank give? Oh, they gave me $10,000. Oh, all right, so we'll give them about the same, $10,000 also. If you've been exercising your credit card properly with a little $500 limit, and then you try to go apply for another card, they only going to give you $500 or maybe $1,500. They're going to give you something low in comparison to what you already have. So if you had a high limit and you've been managing that well, the next company will give you a high limit. Or if you apply for another credit card through the same company, of course they'll give you a high limit because they know you. They know, hey, you've been with us for 6 months. You've been responsible. Even when you max the card out, you basically pay it off every month. Yes, we like your business, because ultimately what they want you to do is start carrying a balance. And that becomes a little strategy. If you eventually get a car, you have a low interest rate, and on here, okay, you get a car, it has a low interest rate. You want to carry a balance of like 10, 11% of your utilization. Believe it or not, if you have 0% utilization, it actually gives you a lower credit score than if you carried a small balance. So a person, where I kind of go into this. Well, just accept that what I said. So if you carry a small balance, you'll have a higher credit score than if you had a zero balance. Now, and you can use websites like Credit Karma to play with it. Like it'll tell you, like you say, hey, if I paid this much off and I had this much utilization, what would my score look like? So play with it like that and then take its advice. Another thing you can do, and I don't have this on the list, is once per week, check your credit score. It's weird. If your credit score will go up if they see you check on it consistently. If you check on it periodically, usually it's every 7 days, it'll give you a few points. It's weird. I don't know. I guess they're rewarding you for being, diligent and staying on top of it. So yeah, if you keep checking on it, and Credit Karma is good because it'll tell you what the little date is. So if you check on it after that date, like the next day, it'll boost your score up. Unless you did something wrong, then it'll go down. But if you keep checking on it, it'll boost your score up. The other thing, and I just wanted to explain, high limits. Okay, I was saying the reason why you want to get a credit card with a higher limit, it helps your credit score out. So if you had a $10,000 credit card and you carried $1,000 worth of debt on it, and you had and you compare yourself to a person that has a $500 limit credit card and they only had $200 worth of debt. The person that has $1,000 worth of debt is going to have the higher credit score. The reason being is because they're not looking at how much debt you have. They're looking at how much of your credit you've utilized. So they're looking at utilization. They're just looking at, okay, you have a $10,000 credit limit, but you only carry a balance of 10% of that. That's good. But if you have a $500 limit and you got a $200, let's use $250 for math's sake, and you got a $250 balance, oh, well, they're not looking at the fact that it's only $250. They're looking at the fact that you use half your credit line. So to them, oh, you're at 50%. Oh, that's a red flag. That's terrible. So your score goes down. All right, so that's why having a higher limit is good. Now, I get into some extra stuff. This video is already long. Matter of fact, I'm going to stop it here. But you can kind of see where I'm going with this. I'll still leave all this up, and I'll post a link to this little outline here. So you can kind of go through it. You see my thoughts and see where I'm going with this. But I kind of move into how to get a business credit card and use that to your advantage, because ultimately, wouldn't you love to be able to have a credit card and it's not tied to your personal social security number? So you can do that, but that's going to be for a whole nother video. If you felt this video was helpful, go ahead and punch that like button for me. Feel free to subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time.